Hey guys, welcome back to the Pinstripe Pals podcast for episode number 5. This is our second take. We fumbled the bag the first time. I fumbled the bag the first
we
time a
didn't
couple
fumble shit.
times.
You fumbled the bag.
Yeah. We'll let you guys know. We'll post some bloopers later. I had said that Anthony Rizzo and Matt Olson were the best third baseman in the league. Don't know what I was thinking there. I had so many things going on in my mind. And it was just crazy.
And John's McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Which is just gonna suck the whole time.
Right, but we'll get through it. But yeah, a lot has happened in the past week since we were on for episode 4. We got a lot to discuss, a lot of things. But first of all, we got some guests in here. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good,
bro. How are you?
A little chill Thursday night.
Yeah, we're doing great on this side. No baseball, but still a lot to talk about baseball wise. A lot of other sports that I can finally catch up on now.
Not
not baseball
is fucking awesome this year.
Yeah,
at least it is for me.
Yeah, my team's not doing all that well, but it's all right. It's all right. My football team's doing great. Tennessee Titans 7-2, best team in the AFC without Derrick Henry. And, we beat probably the best NFC team in the Rams.
Let's talk baseball.
Well,
yeah, but
if we talk about other sports, we're going to be sidetracked and we're going to be on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, and then we're going to we definitely don't want to get sidetracked, and I definitely don't want to fumble the bag again. Just before I introduce my guest, I want to give a quick shout. I forgot the last time to my guy James of Hammer Fitness.
This is not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but potentially could be one day. You guys can hit me up about that on the side. I know you guys listen. But thank you guys for the shirt. The shirt is awesome. Can't wait for you guys to drop some more merch. But with that said, if you guys want to introduce yourself as the guest, and let's get started.
All right, bet. So I'll get us started. My name is Mike Nunez. I met Ian through working at Nike a couple of years ago. Really stand-up guy. And he was like, hey, I'm doing a podcast talking about some sports and Yankees news. And that's what I live for, man. I'm a diehard sports fan, especially Yankees. So when he presented this opportunity, I had to jump on it. So Ian, Chris, I appreciate you guys having me on here, man.
Anytime.
Most definitely. And too bad we don't make any money on this currently, hopefully soon one day. But yeah, we do have real full-time jobs outside of here.
Yeah.
We just talked this up for fun right now, but this has been something that I wanted to do forever. Like we said way back when, but got to meet my guy Mike, and we've had a great relationship over the past 3 years or so. Many more years to come, many more parties and functions and all that type of stuff till 3 a.m.
100%, brother. 100%.
And then my best friend, go for it.
So my name's John Contino. I'm having horrible Wi-Fi right now, so bear with me. I feel bad. I've been best friends with Ian since about.
And little known fact, he works at McDonald's.
Talk about sports all the time. I work at McDonald's full time.
No, it's part-time. Just part-time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me. Part-time, yeah, that's why the connection sucks. They don't give me the full-time.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. they don't give him the Wi-Fi password.
You got to get a promotion for the good Wi-Fi.
I was excited for I was excited to see what Ian's to be a guest. I was more than happy. I'm very honored to be on the show. Very excited to get into some baseball talk, and just happy to be here.
Yeah, most definitely. And we got a great list of events for you guys. We're gonna start off with the most recent topics. Our favorite Yankee all-time, Andrew Heaney, has signed a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they have compared him to Robbie Ray and others, saying that he could turn it around. What do you guys think of that?
That is one of the most asinine projections I've ever heard for a player in my life. Not
Yeah,
even
you
trying
see-
to be funny. That's like ridiculous. That's like comparing Yoenis Cespedes to Mike Trout.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
It's
you see this
crazy.
right
It's
here?
mind-boggling.
You see that right there? That's called lighting a fire up under his ass. That's what that is. That's all calling him next Robbie Ray is.
I honestly don't even think that lighting a fire under his ass can make him turn around what he did last year.
Yeah.
That was one of the most horrendous performances I've ever seen in the history of pitching.
Yeah, and I'm so surprised that Andrew Heaney
I
is
think he even
still
had one good game.
I can't believe he's even around in the MLB anymore. Like I thought when the Yankees released him, I thought this man was gonna like finally fall off the face of the earth. And then it just goes to show that the Dodgers want to try to rub it in the Yankees' face again and try to make this guy good, which I can never possibly see happening. But if it comes to that, I'm not even gonna be upset. I'm just gonna be mad. Like, and it takes a lot for me to
Let's
get
just
mad.
not focus on that. Let's not get you mad. Let's just focus right now that he's not our problem anymore. He could be the mayor of the sun somewhere else.
That's true. That's true. He
Absolutely.
can be.
I mean,
he definitely can be.
the
And
one
there's a
thing
lot
he
better.
has on
There's
his
a lot
side is
better
that he's
options
not
out
that
there for
old.
us to get.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
at least we don't.
absolutely.
At least we don't have to rely on getting a guy like Andrew Heaney again.
Exactly.
Thank
And
God.
especially since he would have been in the bullpen. I'd much rather have Joely
arm barn.
Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, the arm
Like-
barn. Yeah, they're
Oh yeah, no, we're bullpen.
terrible. Terrible. I'm never gonna call it the arm barn. I don't care if they
Mm-mm.
switch it. It's the bullpen. The bullpen.
Oh yeah.
Another big thing that came earlier, like after our last episode, was Luis Rojas being added to the Yankees coaching staff. They haven't exactly confirmed it yet. I think they're still working out some contract details and stuff like that. But that could be a huge addition to the team. I really do like that. He was obviously the manager of the New York Mets in 2021. And even though the Mets had a disappointing year, he looked like he could really take some steps forwards in this role with the Yankees and really provide some good insight for Aaron Boone. They could really learn from each other. I don't know what
Yeah.
you guys think about that,
Yeah,
but
no,
No,
it's-
yeah. I
it's-
like
it's-
it.
I like him. Anybody other than Phil Nevin, good. I'm
yeah,
fine.
I
We're happy.
I think if the Yankees are smart, like Cashman's doing his part right now, talking to the agents about the players, which we'll obviously get to in a couple minutes. But I think the way that they're handling the business of getting their coaching staff done early before free agency gets really hot is absolutely crucial. You want to make sure that your players
100%.
know who your coaches are going to be so that they can get comfortable with them and, know that this team is going to be set up for success.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like
And-
Chris said, I'm just glad that Phil Nevin's gone. Because
Yeah. And,
that wild card was the tip of the iceberg.
yeah,
That
I mean,
was-
that's a
I was
that's
like,
a
he
tough
has to
play.
go.
It's like, I mean, Judge was out by a mile. Like you
Yeah,
guys saw
yes.
you guys saw the replay. Like the ball was in the catcher's glove. He wasn't even in the frame.
Rounding third yet. He wasn't even
Yeah,
in the
pretty
frame.
much. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you could say that.
Oh.
And I mean, it was a bad call. Heat of the moment. Obviously, they need to score there, but it's like
They could have scored on another hit.
that decision was kind of like
Absolutely.
that was like end game right there. Like once he got thrown out at home, you knew that Boston was taking it.
Yeah,
And
and
the
that
Yankees-
was
the
like
Yankees
right
just
about
didn't
the
have it.
moment where I decided to leave your house. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm gone.
That's
I'm not
right.
watching
Yeah.
this anymore.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Unbearable.
But yeah, we got two positions left to fill at coaching spots. We need a first base coach because Reggie Willits decided to leave us, and then thankfully a new hitting coach is coming because I absolutely despise Marcus Thames, and I hope he never works in the MLB again. But I've already talked about my hatred for that man, and I don't need to anymore because he's not my problem.
Yep.
So we'll dive into Cashman first. and just about all the press conferences that he's had, because they've literally been on his ass ever since he arrived at the GM meetings. And they're like, oh, are you getting Seager? Are you getting Correa? Is Gary leaving? Are you getting a center fielder? Who's going to be your first baseman? What are you doing pitching wise? All that. And I think he's handled it very well, saying that they're really going to look into all the options and make sure that they do find, the best fits, because they have a lot of young talent that's going to be coming up in the next few years. And you really need to look at that and see, like, are you going to potentially get people that are going to fit your roster long term that are currently major league ready, or are you going to shift guys in the minor leagues and make them learn new positions now so that you can go and get the guys that you really want now and not have to move them from their primary position? I don't know. I think shortstop is kind of like it's a tough position, because you saw it with A-Rod back when he came up with Seattle and Texas. He was a shortstop. He was probably the best shortstop in the game. No offense to the captain, I love Derek Jeter, but A-Rod was just a better overall player. He hit for contact back then, he hit for power, and this was pre-steroid A-Rod. And then
notify that
he came, and then he came to New York, and obviously he's not going to take over Derek Jeter's spot, so they slide him to third, and he goes down as now possibly one of the best power hitting third baseman of all time. But it's going to be interesting to see with him coming on the ballot for the Hall of Fame this year if he's going to get in. But I feel like if there's a shortstop that's out there that can make that transition, it's going to come down between Correa and Seager. I don't see anyone else being able to move over to third if you're going to bring out one of your four shortstops that are, sitting down below in the minors.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, I do think that if the Yankees were to sign one of these shortstop guys, if they were to sign like Correa or Seager, I don't think that they would really shift them to third per se. I think they would much rather shift DJ to third since he's already familiar with the position.
Right.
I think that
they
would just rather sign somebody for short.
I think that too right now. I think the starting lineup for 2022 has DJ at third, but I'm saying like down the road, like a year or two, when Volpe is ready and Peraza is ready, they're both shortstops. Like, are you gonna move on from Gleyber Torres and put one of them at second, or are you gonna slide a guy like Correa or Seager to third, and possibly by that time LeMahieu, is on his way out. So we don't know. That's a topic that's probably gonna come down the road somewhere. It's not gonna be something that the Yankees really have to worry about going into 2022, but definitely something to keep your eye on when the Yankees do sign a shortstop, because they're going to. Like, Brian Cashman has already come. They're going to, and
watch, it's going to end up being Andrelton Simmons. We're going
to if we wind up with Andrelton Simmons, I'm going to stop watching baseball.
Like,
I'm not.
Cashman comes out to a conference. All right, we got our shortstop. Are you guys ready?
The new shortstop of the future, Andrelton Simmons.
I would hate that. There are 4 or 5 shortstops right now that are all under the age of 30. Andrelton Simmons is already out of his prime. He wasn't even good when he was really in his prime. He was never a top 5 shortstop. The only thing that he was good at was fielding. Like, he had great range. But with the bat in his hand, like, I don't expect a lot out of him. So if the Yankees were to miss out on Seager and Correa and Story, and if they went with Andrelton Simmons, I'd rather Gleyber Torres at shortstop than Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah.
I'd rather
anybody else.
And I would rather Gleyber Torres at shortstop than Javier Baez, because Javier Baez might be one of the worst players in the MLB.
That's a hot take.
This season.
That's a
Yeah.
hot take.
And I was looking at this earlier. Javier Baez had the third highest strikeout percentage in the league, higher than Gallo, I believe, at a 37%. And he was over 50% for swinging at pitches outside the strike zone.
Well,
Yeah, his play discipline is there's
I have seen rumors that Brian Cashman has reached out to him. And if Brian Cashman brings him to New York, I'm literally going to cry myself to sleep every night.
we just have to search up hobbit holes in New York, and then that's where Cashman is.
And it's going
go
to
there,
be.
and we're gonna.
It's literally going to be
like
pinpointed.
I'm late
probably like
up signs.
Like late my background. I'm probably like right near the hobbit hole. It's probably like right in this trash can over here. That's right behind me. That's probably where Brian Cashman is right now, just like hiding out.
Well, don't say that now because he still hasn't signed anybody yet.
Right.
Right.
And he's actually talking, which is the best thing. Like, and he's handled it very well. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for this off season. Like, 2018 was a really good off season. There's Bryce Harper and Manny Machado and guys like that. But I think this off season might beat that because there's just so many talented guys just at one position. And there's a lot of guys that you just don't know where they're gonna go. Like there's so many possibilities out there.
I think the biggest one of that is Correa because you don't. And back in take one, John had brought up. It was one of you two. You brought up that Correa might not want to leave Altuve.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, that's a really good take. But then again, the Astros are offering him less money than what, let's say, the Yankees could also offer him. And I really do think that he is kind of more in it for the money now at this point in his career. And the Yankees are still a good team. They're still a great team for him to be around. But still, like, the Astros are also good. But if I was Correa, Astros or New York, I mean, you just got your asses handed to you by the fucking Atlanta Braves without fucking Acuna. So I would get my ass fucking out of there, and I would say, let's try something new.
The Astros are such a shitty organization that they offered their best.
We know that.
They offered their best player $160 million to come back on a 5-year deal.
Yeah, but we already knew they were a shitty organization for the past few years.
That's just showing you, like, they really don't want him back. They think that they can do it without him, and I think they're completely wrong.
They couldn't even do it with him. Like, what the fuck?
Right. I mean, they could only do it by cheating, but we're never gonna let that slide, but we're just not gonna talk about that because we don't need to.
No.
So yeah.
I mean, if I'm Correa, I want to get rid of. I know we have to go on to the next topic, but if I'm Correa, I want to get away from Houston as fast as I can, just to try and regain my reputation. Because, as we all know, everybody from that team has a wrecked reputation because of those cheating scandals.
Yes. And I think George Springer was the luckiest of them because he became a free agent right when the scandal came out, and like once the actual investigation opened up after 2019,
he got the fuck out of Dodge.
And he was so lucky. I mean, the Blue Jays were so quick to swoop him up too, and that Blue Jay team is scary. But obviously, we don't even need to get into that because, well, we will because of one of the takes that John had on a free agent that he wants, which we can definitely go into that. So obviously we're going to move on. And obviously the area of need for the Yankees this offseason, obviously we've stated shortstop, center field could be another one, first base, more than likely catcher, and starting pitching. Those are the main areas of need. Not saying that the Yankees won't upgrade at other positions, but I think those are the ones that Cashman needs to focus on the most. And I think we had John go first on take one, so we'll just go right back with you on your takes and those 3 players that you really want in New York.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to start with Seager. Obviously, I think he's a great choice. You know, a great point, the first take that he's a lefty. I didn't even think about that in my first consideration. I think Seager's a great guy to come out. He knows how to win. He's been playing stuff. I just think he has what it takes to be a Yankee, to live up to that big name and everything. For my second free agent, I was talking about Robbie Ray. I think Robbie Ray takes a lot of pressure off Cole. He had a great season. I mean, he did awesome, like you were talking about. Like they just got lucky, the Blue Jays. And Rizzo, get Rizzo back on first base, it would be awesome. The guy fits the team really well. He's great He's great in the locker room. Like he's such a good morale player. He knows how to win. Like he knows how to get it done, and he knows how to go far in the playoffs.
Definitely, I agree. I mean, that 2016 Cubs team is like, it means everything to him. And like, you know, Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, and Kimbrel all leaving the Cubs this year. It was kind of sad. It was like every time one of them got traded, like
fuck
you saw them.
Shit, I'm out.
You you saw them all like walking on the field for the last time, and like I think some of them were just so shocked that it was over. But I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of them made it back there this offseason. Because the Cubs don't really have a payroll, and I feel like they were just trying to use their roster that they had and know that those guys would help contenders. Hey, Mr. Nunez. That was funny. Yeah, sorry for you guys listening on audio. Mike's pop came.
Sorry about that, fellas.
But yeah, what was I saying about the Cubs? So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them made it back there. And I feel like if anyone if any of the three were to, I feel like Chris Bryant would be the most likely. Just because of how it all went down. You know, it was literally July 31st. The trade deadline was literally like right around the corner. There was like a minute left, and Chris Bryant hadn't been traded. No news, no word of anything. 4:00 came. I remember this because I was sitting on my hour at work, and just right on the screen is Chris Bryant traded to the Giants, and immediately after that, like they went to Wrigley and they found him in the dugout just like crying by himself. And it's just like, man, like that kid has been there since he was just a kid. Like, you know, went out of college, got drafted by them, all that stuff. And just like that, you know, your entire career is flipped upside down, thinking that, you know, you're a minute away from the deadline and you're still a Chicago Cub. And once 4:00 hit, he became a San Francisco Giant. But I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to the Cubs.
Yeah,
honestly,
I could see.
I would. I honestly would be surprised if he went back because, I mean, if you look at the way that roster is structured right now, I don't think that they're going to be in contention for the next few years.
And
he's not getting
Giants are a way better team.
They're definitely not.
Exactly.
The NL Central is pretty much the Cardinals or the Brewers. The Pirates are rebuilding. The Cubs are now rebuilding. The Reds are just inconsistent. Like they really should have been a team that probably could have made the playoffs, and they just had a very disappointing season. But there are a couple targets out there on the Cincinnati Reds that the Yankees are interested in. I don't necessarily see any of them making their way to New York, but maybe Brian Cashman does pull that trigger to get him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know. This is one of those off seasons where anything is really
right. Yeah, and you just don't know what's going to happen, where anyone's going to go. I mean,
a lot of good free agents out there.
We've seen Kershaw, Rodon. They didn't even get qualifying offers, which blew my mind. And then there's guys like, you know, Michael Conforto, the Mets, who had a very bad 2021 season, who got a qualifying offer, probably should have taken it, and he didn't. And, you know, he's going to test free agency, and I don't think he's gonna get a good contract. I feel like he really messed up not taking that 1 year, 18 million.
Fumbled the bag.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he fumbled the bag.
He's pulling an Ian.
He fumbled the bag, dude. Yep. He pulled an Ian. And Mikey, we're gonna head on to your 3 free agents that you want to go after.
Copy. So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna start off with Carlos Correa. I feel like he's an elite defender. He's a year younger than Seager. So, I mean, that's not really that big of a difference, but it ultimately does play a factor. He has been relatively more healthy than Seager. So that's also a plus in my book. And I've always just been high on him. Like, he's a very great player. He can hit to all parts of the field. He has that pop. And in Yankee Stadium, I feel like he has potential to hit between 35 and 40 home runs as a shortstop. So I definitely think that would be a great fit on our team.
I agree. And
hell yeah, brother.
Put aside all the cheating stuff for a second. It's like he might be the best player available in this free agent class.
Dead ass.
It's just going to come down. I think if Brian Cashman is serious about spending money, but trying to, maybe get like discounts, he might take Seager. But then again, like you said, Mike, with the injuries, I mean, Corey Seager in 2018 missed an entire season because he had Tommy John surgery. And that's odd for a position player to get that kind of thing. Obviously, we've seen it, as Yankee fans with, Didi Gregorius and Aaron Hicks, but, mainly that's a pitcher injury that takes about, 12 to 15 months to recover from. And, Corey Seager getting that definitely, I don't think it damaged his career because he's still been phenomenal, but it definitely hurt missing that time because that's gonna affect, the amount of money that he gets and the amount of money that Correa gets.
Most definitely. Yeah. So then my second one. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I didn't say shit.
Oh, no, it's John.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, that was John. My fault. I cut now because I saw the box on Chris, so I was like, "Oh shit."
That's just that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
All good.
But I was just saying, I think as Yankee fans, we're options for shortstops are either between Correa and Seager. Like, I think that's something to be very excited about.
Yeah.
Because regardless, you won't really.
And
unfortunate happens, but
get ready for Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees.
If you don't stop speaking that into existence.
I don't. Yeah, please don't.
No, I'm hoping but I'm hoping the actual opposite happens.
Right.
That like getting ready for it, like, oh my god, it's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden tomorrow we wake up, breaking news: Correa's and Pinstripes. We're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I just want to be able to like go to sleep one night and wake up and see, Corey Seager or Carlos Correa, or I mean, I'm still fine with Trevor Story. It's just like, I think, there's been rumors saying that the Yankees have lost interest, but he's still an option. Like Cashman still went out to his agent and spoke to him. I just feel like it's so hard to come out of Colorado and expect to get paid the same amount as everyone else.
And I feel like too, because of all like the media circulation that the Yankees are soured upon Story, that like if they offer a contract to him, he's not gonna take it anyway because he's gonna just be like, oh no, they're looking for sloppy seconds. Like, fuck these guys.
Somebody is going to get Trevor Story for a steal. I just don't think it's going to be the New York Yankees.
I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah,
I think Cashman has his eyes set on his 2.
Yeah,
I think he definitely has his 2 targets.
I do too.
So I don't think he has a plan C.
Right. It's not even like a plan B. Like it's literally plan A, Correa or Seager. There's no plan B.
I think if one fails, go with the other. That's literally what he's considering.
Yeah,
right now.
I think, the only team that he's really competing with, I think, is the Detroit Tigers because AJ Hinch is there as a manager, and that was Correa's former guy. And And if the Tigers do happen to sign Correa, it's like, if that happens, it's like, all right, like you just need to go and give Seager the money right away so that you lock up him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think if Correa was to come off the market first, then the Yankees need to jump on Seager. Like,
correct.
The same day.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And vice versa. Like,
it's one or the other. Yeah, it's like if Seager gets taken, you jump on Correa. If Correa gets taken, you jump on Seager. Either one of them I'm fine with, because I know they're gonna take it well. They've both been under the spotlight. Seager played in LA, Correa plays in Houston. They've both been in the playoffs every year probably since they've been in the league for the most part. And they have so much experience in the postseason. They've both been a part of World Series teams, so it's like that's something that we don't have besides Anthony Rizzo and Gardner. But obviously, we're going to get to Gardner in a couple. But enough said about the shortstops, because we could probably talk about this for hours. But obviously, Mikey, you still got 2 more free agents that you can go after.
Oh yeah, fuck, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah, so like I didn't take one. I'm gonna shock a lot of people with this one. I'm gonna stick with Verlander. I think even though he is old, I think he's former Cy Young. And if you look at his track record, he's a dominant pitcher, and he's someone who can pitch late into a game, even at his old age. Before Tommy John, he was pitching into the 7th, 8th, complete games, still touching 98 miles an hour, 99 miles an hour. So I definitely think that if we were to take a 1-year flyer on Verlander, that would do nothing but help us. I see it as a similar situation to Corey Kluber, where we'll take a flyer and he'll wind up being very productive. I feel like if Kluber didn't get hurt, he would have been even better than he was. And I think that we could do the same thing with Verlander.
I think so too, because Corey Kluber looked really good to start the year, and obviously he threw the no-hitter. And then, the start after that, he got hurt, and then he really didn't pitch again most of the season. But overall, I think if the Yankees were to do that type of thing again, they just need to be certain. And I think Verlander's a better option than a Corey. Corey Kluber was out there, no one was signing him, so the Yankees took him. That's fine. I was excited. It's hey, Corey Kluber, that's an exciting name. But I think Verlander's just a guy that's yeah, he had a freak injury. Yeah, it was Tommy John and everything, but what he's capable of, and that he's going to come back stronger than ever. And, he's already came out and said that he wants to pitch till he's 45. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch. But if a team like the Yankees were to offer him a 1-year deal and he came out there and pitched like he did in 2019, I don't see why he couldn't do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, pitching to your 45.
I mean, Tom Brady wants to be a quarterback till he's 50. I mean, I know that's different, but it's Tom Brady's taking hits from 300-pound linemen, whereas Justin Verlander's throwing a baseball.
That's true.
Just saying. Just saying.
You got a point.
Yeah. Mikey, last one, bro. Who you got?
My last one, I'm gonna stay on track. I'm gonna re-sign Rizzo. He's high on the priority board for me. I say bringing him back is number 2 to getting Correa or Seager, because I feel like he's a key piece. Like John said in take 1, he's a key piece of the locker room. I'm sorry, like he said this take. He's a key piece in the locker room, great leader. He's a champion. So having that in our locker room is going to be great off rip. And then he's a lefty bat with pop. I feel like he's great for Yankee Stadium. He can hit anywhere, and he's an impeccable defender. So it's a no-brainer for me why you bring Rizzo back. It's a no-brainer.
I think it has to do with the money. I feel like
having Rizzo, though, I think it would be good because, especially with getting rid of a guy like you bring back Rizzo and that just refills that position. No worries at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get him back for a discount, kind of like how we were talking about in the first take of this, I'm all for it because Matt Olson is going to cost a lot in prospects. But if Rizzo's going to ask the Yankees for I'd say more than 80 million, it's clip. I'm trading for Matt Olson.
I mean, I don't think that Rizzo is going to be in that high of a price range. I don't see
I
him
hope not.
getting
I really
more.
hope not.
I honestly, yeah, Rizzo's an amazing player, but he is getting older. He is trending slightly downward. So
he had the worst season of his career this year. I hope it was I just hope it was a fluke.
I don't see him getting more than maybe between 12 and 15 million a year. I don't see him getting more than that. But I think if the Yankees were to bring him back, I think they could bring him on 10 million a year.
Yeah, I think if
bring
you
him
can
back on like a 4-year, 40 million.
I think if you can get him on the lower side of that, like the 12 million for like 3-4 years, I'll take that. Like, I'll definitely take Rizzo for that. Yeah. Anything higher than 15 though is definitely clip.
Yeah, no, he's gonna have to walk.
He's not,
but I don't think he'll do that.
You don't want to spend.
Yeah, I mean, he's 32 right now. He's going to be 33 next year. It's like he's not getting a deal more than 4 years.
Honestly,
there's no way.
Gets a multi-year deal.
I think he does. I think he gets a multi-year deal.
He's definitely getting a multi-year deal if he comes back regardless.
The only problem I have is, and it's kind of hard because it's going to go either way. If the Yankees don't get Rizzo, Boston's probably going to make a move on him. But if the Yankees don't get Olson, Boston might do the same thing with him as well. So it's like we're going to have to really just like pick our poison and like hope that the other one, turns out better. That's the only reason why I'm for Olson is because he's 27. And it's just like that's a huge age gap in any professional sport, 5 years. Matt Olson also had a career year where he hit almost 280, 39 home runs for Oakland, over 100 RBIs. I mean, he's, still left-handed bat like Rizzo. He's won multiple Gold Gloves at first base in the American League. He won a Platinum Glove. So, I mean, I'm fine with either. I just think when it comes down to like the terms of age and, obviously, with the report of Rizzo's back injury, whatever that was, it doesn't concern me a lot, but there's a chance that it might if it continues to linger.
Yeah, about his back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Olson,
when you texted me about picking 3 free agents, it almost held me back.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's like you got so many free agents to choose from, and I told you guys like 3. So it's difficult, but it's at the same time, it's like we know what the Yankees are after, and I'm really happy to see that neither of you guys picked Starling Marte.
Oh, I don't want Starling Marte.
Because he's amazing. Like, I mean, he's a leadoff hitter. He's 33, I think. And he stole like 42 bags or something like that this year, which is really impressive. Wow. That was the most in the majors, but there's not many better options out there, but there's a lot of younger options out there. And one came up today, and the Pittsburgh Pirates made Brian Reynolds available. The Yankees have a really good relationship with Pittsburgh. Obviously, they've made trades in the past, like the Tyon trade, which turned out, pretty well for the Yankees, I would say. The Yankees traded Russell Martin there, way back when, Francisco Cervelli, Chris Stewart, a lot of catchers that the Yankees traded back to Pittsburgh. But the Pirates are also very well known for making bad trades and like horrible. I think the Chris Archer trade that they made a couple years ago might go down as the worst trade in MLB history because they got Chris Archer for Austin Meadows, Tyler Glasnow, and Shane Baz, who are all now at the major league level with Tampa Bay and are like killing it.
Well, Glasnow.
Yeah, I mean Glasnow got hurt, but that's because of the sticky stuff. You know, they took that away, and he got hurt immediately, and now, you know, he's going to be out for 2022, which is it's a very tough loss for MLB and a very tough loss for Tampa Bay. But that's a huge opportunity for the Yankees to, you know, make a push and, you know, get those guys that are going to help them get over that hump and, you know, try to beat the Rays, because, you know, Tyler Glasnow is a guy that is going to win 15 to 20 games every year for the next 10 years. And for Tampa to lose that for next year, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's huge.
I think the Yankees could capitalize.
That was probably one of the most impactful injuries of recent memory.
I definitely think so. And I think, you know, I love Aaron Hicks, but with all the talk of interest that the Yankees have in center fielders, I don't see him being that starting center fielder. I feel like they're going to make a big move, whether it's Starling Marte or Ketel Marte or Brian Reynolds or, you know, some other guy that we don't know about right now. And Aaron Hicks is just going to kind of like ride off into the sunset. Obviously, me and Chris both put out videos on our Instagram, and we both had Estevan Florial starting at center field. But now, with more of these reports leaking, that's looking like it's going to not happen either. And I think if that's not in the Yankees' plans, I think they need to trade him right away. I think he needs to be a guy that
it's a waste of space.
If you're gonna trade with Oakland for a Matt Olson or something like that, he needs to be in that package, just because he's a guy that can't sit in AAA any longer. He's ready to go, and he's ready to be a major league player. You can't hold him back any longer.
Yo, I hate to interrupt and change the topic, but unfortunately, for like this simulation thing we're a part of, they wanted me at like 8:45, so I gotta go and join them. But I appreciate you guys having me on and everything. I hope I can come back and
no doubt.
I hope your McDonald's Wi-Fi doesn't impact that.
I gotta be with this group. Hey, next time I promise it'll be so much better. But like, unfortunately, I just gotta shit the bed. But I really do appreciate you guys having me. This is a great time, honestly. If you guys ever need a hockey guy or something.
Most definitely. We'll definitely get you on again. Appreciate you for coming on.
All right. Thank you guys.
No doubt, bro. Great having you.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, take it easy.
All right. Yeah, so with that, obviously, you know, with all the outfielders that we have and everything, the Yankees decline Brett Gardner's option, and I think that finally means farewell.
It's sad, but
yeah,
it really is.
It's tough.
You got to see it.
Yeah,
at this point, you really got to see it coming.
Yeah, it's his productivity was on a steep decline. He's getting older. He's not really capable of playing every day. It's time. I mean, thank you for all of your years, and thank you for being that great presence, but it's a changing of the guard.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think this is a big stepping stone for the Yankees, with the fact that everyone thinks that Gardner's done, because it's finally going to be Aaron Judge's clubhouse. It's kind of hard for a guy like Judge to have the room when there's a guy like Gardner who has a World Series ring on his name. But now that he's probably not going to be back, this is really Judge's time to shine. And I think that before the season starts, Judge is extended. He's named captain, and he'll be firing on all cylinders, ready to go.
Honestly, I don't want the Yankees to name another captain. I think Jeter should be the last captain. like the impact that man had.
I mean,
don't think
I don't think
anybody.
anyone can replace Jeter's name, but I do think that at some point you gotta move on and name another captain and know who your leader is gonna be. Because the same people from the 90s are gonna say that when Don Mattingly retired and then they named Jeter. So it's like, yeah, like Jeter was the generational captain, but you know, for kids that are growing up now, obviously when we grew up, Jeter was the captain, and he always will be to us. But to the kids who are 7, 8 year olds now, who are, you know, playing little league and, you know, dreaming of growing up to be a player someday, they're all looking at Judge. So I think that would be the move that the Yankees would make, and that would be the reason that they would do it.
Yeah, I see
Oh
that.
yeah, I
Like
feel
the
you.
little league
I
field that's right outside Yankee Stadium. Like I can only imagine kids out there playing and just looking at Yankee Stadium and the pictures of Judge and Stanton and all those guys and just thinking like, man, like one day I could be there. And mainly they're looking at Judge because Judge is the face of this franchise, whether you like it or not, you know, Judge is the face of the franchise. Period. Like
Yeah,
this is the Judge's chambers. All rise for the Judge.
100%.
I
I
agree.
mean, I
This
think
is finally going to be Judge's team. It's all
yeah,
his.
and I think we can do that without the formality of naming a captain. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It may be biased because I'm a diehard Jeter fan, but I think Judge can lead the clubhouse without having the formality of the captain's title. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
agree.
me.
It can go either way. But yeah, I hate to see Gardner go out like this because obviously I think the Yankees would have liked to have given him some type of like respectable, you know, way to go out, or like some type of like ceremony or something, but it just wasn't meant to be. And you know, there's better options out there. Um, then you know, that's it. I mean, you know, they didn't pick up the option. The option was only $2 million. You know, the only lower you can go is like $1 million. And I really don't think they're gonna waste their time on giving Brett Gardner $1 million when they can just bring up a young kid like Florio. If you want to bring up Florio, he's
Bring up
maybe
Florio.
like $500,000 on salary. I mean, money doesn't really matter right now. Like, it's just a roster spot. But Gardner didn't perform well this year. He hasn't performed well the last couple years. And time, like we said earlier, father time catches up to people. And it really caught up to Gardner this year.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's sad to see him go, but it's time. It's that time.
It really is sad because Gardner was my second favorite Yankee. So it's definitely tough to see him go, but if it is finally time to go, I can say that I was at his last game at Yankee Stadium.
Right. You definitely can.
And that's something I'll live with the rest of my life, you know, because I really liked that guy, and being able to be at that game and uh yeah, it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be so sad when he finally is like, yeah, no, I'm hanging it up.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely gonna stink. More topics to get to though. So we did do this on the first take and we talked about Gary Sanchez. We're not going to talk about this for long. This is going to be like a minute or two conversation. But Brian Cashman said that he is open to trading Gary Sanchez. Do you guys think that they find a trade partner? And do you think that they find another catcher to suit up for the Yankees in 2022?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think that they find another trade partner. I don't necessarily think they need to find another catcher. I think they have it in Higashioka. I think he's shown that he's more than capable of being an everyday catcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, but if they traded for another catcher, I could see Maldonado, or not even Maldonado. You wouldn't be able to trade for him. I think he's a free agent, but
Yeah, I think he is too.
getting him and trading for a few other players, like a little like some prospects or something like that. Hell, I wouldn't mind that. Maldonado's a great catcher, and he's
I just
definitely
think,
better than freaking Bowser. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Gary is going to stay. I don't know if, unless Cashman gets a deal that like, not, I wouldn't say knocks him off his feet, because it's like Gary's not going to be worth a whole lot, but you still want to get something back for him, because you know the potential that he can have. And I do think that there are catchers in our system that could be ready if we don't go outside. Obviously, I say this every podcast, I'm a huge Austin Wells guy. I just don't think he would be ready in time. So that's why I had Gary staying. And I think Gary would be a guy that the Yankees would move on from mid-season, like a July trade deadline where they can bring up a guy like Austin Wells, start Higashioka, have Wells learned under Higgy, or like you say, if another team goes after Maldonado, and he'll probably get another 1-year deal somewhere, the Yankees could try to see like, hey, maybe we can, trade for a guy like that later on. But obviously Cashman's going to listen to everything for everyone, except for guys like Cole and Stanton and Judge. But I think there's a lot of options out there as Gary Sanchez goes. But that's it. I think Gary stays. You guys think he goes?
Yeah.
End of discussion.
I mean, I don't think per se that he'll go, because I don't think we'll find an adequate package. I think he'll more than likely wind up being our backup. I think Higashioka should be our everyday starter.
I could see that too.
I've said that before.
Because I mean, neither of them are great hitters, but Higgy did prove to make more contact with the ball. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely be down for that. I like Higgy. Obviously he's Cole's personal catcher. He threw he caught Kluber's no hitter. So he was obviously doing things right behind the plate. Sanchez is just like a slug behind the dish, and he doesn't move. So he's a liability behind the plate. But there's no spot for him at DH because you have Stan. So a trade, it's almost inevitable that Gary Sanchez will be traded. We just don't know if it's going to happen.
Right.
Yep. What else we got? The bullpen, Brian Cashman has said that he wants to reinforce it. I don't necessarily think you need to from the outside. I think there's some quality guys down below in the minors that you could bring up as relievers, kind of like how you did Loaiza. Not a good starter when he came up. They sent him back down, tweaked some things. He came back up as a reliever, and he was probably a top 10 reliever in all of baseball this year. I think there's some other guys down there, like Luis Medina, maybe even like a guy like Devi, who they don't have the best command or control, but they could be a guy that goes out there for an inning, maybe two, and could be really lockdown guys for us. But I don't think we have to go out there and spend money on the bullpen. I'd rather subtract money.
The bullpen's fine the way it is.
Yeah. And I think they made a big move by bringing back Joely Rodriguez.
I like that.
That was a big move because he was a very key contributor.
No, big woo, but it's like, they declined his $3 million option and they paid him $2 million. So wow, you saved $1 million to give to Correa or Seager. Amazing.
Yep.
But I think the biggest thing for the Yankees to do is if they want to save money somehow, let people explore the trade possibilities for Chapman and Britton. Because between the two of them, they're getting paid $32 million this season. That's a lot for guys that are pitching one inning. And they're pitching like 50, 60 games a year.
Yeah.
Most of the time. That's just me. I think if teams would like them, and there's a lot of teams that could use closers like that. I think if you are okay with letting those guys go, Loizaga can easily be your closer. Clay Holmes could be your setup guy in the 8th. And then you rock out with whoever else in, the 7, 6, if you need those types of guys. But I don't think this
Even
team
Chad
needs.
Green could close out.
Yeah. I think so. I don't want to see the Yankees spend unnecessary money in the bullpen, but I love that they brought Joely Rodriguez back. When they first declined his option, I was like, there's no way they're not bringing him back, right? Because he pitched really good. And I think, both of our mid-season transactions between Joely and Clay, they both came in and we had no idea who they really were. And they really stepped up big time. And Clay was probably our best best reliever down the stretch.
There we go. Fumbled the bag.
Yeah, sorry.
There it is.
Slurring my words a little bit today. It's been a day.
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. So yeah, we've pretty much gone through everything: center field, first base, all that. What do you guys think are the 3 biggest things for the Yankees to do? And this is just overall, like it could be signings, it could be how many games they have to win, whatever it is. What are 3 things that they have to do if they want to win the World Series in 2022?
Sign a shortstop, get a decent hitting coach from somewhere, and play like you fucking want a World Series. The end.
Mike?
Yeah, I would definitely have to say shortstop, priority number 1. I would definitely have to say pitching. We have to shore that up while starting pitching. And then, piggybacking off of Chris, we just have to play like we want to fucking win. We've been playing defeated when we get down big in games, where I just think that we need to fight to the end. We just need to put our freaking foot on people's throats and just play old school Yankee baseball.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think for me, the pitching is definitely a big one. Your take on Verlander, John's take on Robbie Ray earlier. They need to go out and get someone to be behind Cole. There's been a lot of names thrown out there. Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer, Robbie Ray, Rodon, Gausman. There's a ton of starters out there that could be that number 2 guy for the Yankees. And they have to just figure out who it's going to be, because they need someone to back up Cole. They can't have what they had this year where guys were up and down with injuries, and it was just, that's why Cole in the end, didn't perform as well, because he was so fatigued. He was so tired and hurt that he just couldn't perform to his best anymore. He did all he could for that team all year to keep him in it, and that's about it.
Yeah, he essentially had to carry the pitching staff on his back, and it got to him at the end.
Hitting, straight contact, like whoever you think is going to be on base machines, everything. You don't need power hitters anymore. You got Gallo, Judge, and Stan. Those are your guys who are going to be swinging for the fences. Everyone else that's on that lineup 1 through 9 and on the bench should be guys that can get on base for those guys to be able to drive them in. That's how the old school Yankees used to do it. That's how it always was. They got the best players that could, deliver in the clutch moments. And, that's what the Yankees need to go back to. And then number 3, you need to trust Aaron Boone. You brought him back for a reason.
That's a good one.
You need to let him really hold the ropes and ride the horse, and let him be the manager that you wanted him to be when he first came here, and let him have a say in things, because I feel like his first go around with the Yankees was more of like he was like a puppet. I think this time around, with Rojas there, whoever else they might bring in, they really need to let the coaching staff do their thing and really lead this team and, lead their ace, Garrett Cole, lead Aaron Judge, and have those guys be your franchise players, and everyone else can just fall into place. But
yeah, that Boone take is pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of people
that's a great take.
They really overlook the importance of the impact that a manager has on their players, and they only a lot of people only look at it to see like how they operate the team, but they look at the players look at the manager like a coach, like a big coach, and right. It's just if if he rubs off on or the team thinks that he's rubbing off on him the wrong way, you're gonna see it.
No, definitely, and
I feel like a lot of the players this year saw the media just completely blasting Boone, and it kind of had an effect. Like they were just like, maybe this guy isn't so great, even though like he's in our dugout right now, and maybe he's not so great. Maybe he's making mistakes. Maybe we shouldn't trust him so much, you know. And I feel like that's part of what happened this year. Like they looked at Boone in a weird way, and you could see it, especially when the media started circulating it around even more, like maybe midway through the season, and you were just like, "Oh my god, like what the fuck is Boone doing?" Like a lot of the media was saying that, and you could see it. It had an effect. I guess the players spend a lot of time on Yahoo and ESPN, and they're reading too much.
Yes.
So that's a great take.
I think so too, and we're gonna segue into our little courtroom, guilty as charged scene in a minute, but the Yankees are gonna go as far as Boone can take them, and as far as the Yankees can get Garrett Cole help, and this is where we're gonna lead into our favorite segment. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
So order in the court. Order in the court. Garrett Cole is on the stand today. We're going to talk about if we think that the Yankees overpaid for Cole, is if banning the sticky substance is going to hurt him, and is there going to be a way that Cole is going to be able to turn it around from the end of the season that he had. Chris, we'll start with you. You can defend Garrett Cole after I'll take my take on interrogating him. Mikey, you're going to have the final say if he's guilty or not.
Got it.
All right, so I'm going to defend Cole. Just because like a lot of people are like, oh, did the Yankees overpay for Cole? No, absolutely not. Garrett Cole is an absolutely amazing pitcher, but that's when he's healthy. I feel like if the Yankees, especially closer to the end of the season, if they rested him just a little bit more with the hamstring, I really feel like he would have done better, especially in the wild card game. I do feel like that did have a mental edge in Cole with the injury, but other than that, you pitched pretty well this season, Nick. He had a complete game shutout against his former team. It doesn't really happen too much, but the injury is what I think ended up being the downfall of Cole, and the Yankees have nothing to do with it. The sticky stuff isn't going to really hurt him, I don't think. He's a tough guy, but except for when it comes to hamstrings, I guess. But but no, I'm defending Cole for just the reason that no, the Yankees didn't overpay for him, and that the hamstring really did him in, especially close to the end of the season. Just let it rock. He's gonna have a lot of rest now. So once he's back, you'll see.
Wow. Okay. I think the Yankees slightly overpaid Cole. I think it was really good that they gave him a long-term contract. Obviously, you want him to be your ace and everything. I think they did him wrong when they didn't sign him a number 2 starter with him. They kind of were just like, oh, we're going to bring you in and you're going to rock with just, 4 other guys. Yeah, they brought in Paxton and Tanaka was there, and CC was on his way out. But that's not a rotation that scares a lot of people. And now you got to look at it, a couple of years later, and you're still at the same thing. Your rotation this year was a mix of Cole, Tyon, Kluber, Herman, Nestor Cortez, and Michael King, and Nick Nelson started games, and it was very poorly constructed from the beginning. And with the amount of starters that are out there this offseason, Brian Cashman can't afford to fumble the bag. He's already on a thin string. He's on his final year of his GM contract, and he has to make the best moves for this team. I think Robbie Ray, like John said, is the perfect fit. Cole fumbled the bag, just like I have all of tonight with this episode. The last month and a half that Garrett Cole had was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't good at all. From September 1st on, he had 2 quality starts. He had September 1st at the Angels, he threw 7 innings of 1-run ball. And September 14th, he pitched 5 innings of 1-run ball against Baltimore. Everything else other than that was absolutely horrendous. Toronto, September 7th, 3 2/3, 3 runs. Cleveland, September 19th, 5 2/3, 10 hits, 7 runs. Boston, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That was September 24th. September 29th, last start of the season, 6 innings against Toronto, 9 hits, 5 runs. Then the wild card game, obviously we all know about that. 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, and basically that was the game right there because the offense couldn't do shit against Nathan Eovaldi. Overall, Garrett Cole had a good season, definitely not his best season. He had 181 innings pitched. He gave 69 runs for an ERA of a 3.23. Great numbers, still not Garrett Cole-like numbers though, because of the sticky substance being banned. But I don't think that is what we're looking for from the guy that we paid $324 million for. When you come down into the crunch time in September and October, that's when you need to be your best. And like how we talked about before in 2009, when we went out and spent money on Sabathia and Burnett, those guys showed their true colors in September and October. And they're the reason why we brought home a 27 title, because they were able to go deeper into games and really, get us going and gave our offense a chance. Cole was the only pitcher in our rotation that consistently gave our team a chance besides Jordan Montgomery. But that's not enough. Jordan Montgomery can't be a number 2 starter in MLB ever. I like the guy, but he's a backup. He did
us freaking dirty.
He will always be, Jordan Montgomery will always be a 4 and 5. And 2-3 years from now, Jordan Montgomery is probably not even going to be a Yankee. Like, let's be honest. So, yes, you overpaid for Cole, but you're gonna get him back. Like, he had a rough stretch, but that he's gonna come back and be dominant. They just need to figure this whole thing out with the sticky substance, and Brian Cashman needs to go out there and get him another starter so that not all the pressure is on him to perform. So Robbie Ray is my guy for that. Maybe a Carlos Rodon. I think Robbie Ray is still going to cost a little less than Rodon would. But I think if the Yankees offered like a 5-year deal to Robbie Ray of about like $100 to $120 million, that's a phenomenal deal for the Yankees. Phenomenal deal for Robbie Ray. You stay in the AL East where, you dominated this year for the Blue Jays. I just don't think the Blue Jays are going to have enough to compete with other teams for Robbie Ray, because they want to keep Semien. They do want to keep Ray, but you also got to think about extending Bo Bichette in a couple of years, extending Vlad in a couple of years. Those are going to be contracts that are going to be $250 million to $300 million plus on just those two guys alone. And obviously they don't want to give those guys up. So that's going to be where the Yankees need to swoop in and say, okay, Cole, how about this? Brian Cashman goes to Garrett Cole and asks, who do you want? Garrett Cole gives him a name. That's who you're going to go get. But for right now, Cole fumbled the bag towards the end of the 2021 season. He's not going to win the Cy Young. Robbie Ray is going to win it. And because of that, he's going to go tell Brian Cashman to get Robbie Ray. And they're going to be a 1-2 punch. And hopefully be a stepping stone for the Yankees to reach the World Series with a supporting cast of, like Tyon and Sevy and, maybe a Verlander. We don't know. Mikey, it's on you though now. That's it.
I'm not gonna lie, those are some compelling arguments for both sides of the spectrum. But I am gonna have to side with Chris because I do not feel like Garrett Cole was underpaid. And I honestly don't think that the sticky substance ban has had that big of an impact on him. I honestly think that it's more of just a general fatigue, and it honestly could be mental because there, like you said, Ian, was no number two. It was him, and nobody else was reliable enough. So I don't think that it was necessarily the sticky substance crackdown. I think that it was just mental wear and tear, physical wear and tear, and he just had a lot on his plate. But I think this year coming up, 2022, you have Severino. He should be going back into the rotation. We can possibly get Robbie Ray. We could get Verlander. We still have Montgomery, who's decent. And then we just have to figure out that fifth spot. So I do think that our rotation is going to be shored up. So I don't think that there's going to be a lot more pressure per se on Cole, even though he's still going to have that ace tag. He's going to be like, all right, I have a number two. I have a solid rotation now. I don't have to worry about it necessarily being a must win every time I take the ball. So I definitely think that he'll have a much better 2022 season. I'm going to go bold and I'm going to say he's going to have a sub-3 ERA. I feel like it's going to be a bounce back campaign. I definitely think it's going to be a bounce back.
He would have had that this year. He just had a bad month of September. That really inflated his ERA.
I'm telling you, that mental block and just general fatigue it's getting to him.
Yeah. So you're siding with Chris, right?
I am.
Man, that's tough. Chris, that's 2 weeks in a row for you, right?
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Wow.
I'm a good defense lawyer.
I guess you are. Yeah. I guess you are. Well, you won. Yeah, you won with Gary. I couldn't defend Gary. That was too hard. But nice job. We're gonna move into our last thing, and then we'll go into final statements. Mike, just want to thank you again for being on. We did ask some fan questions, real quick.
Let's do it.
My boy James said, "Why do you think the Yankees re-signed Boone?" I think it's just because of what I said a couple minutes ago. They trust him. They trust him enough, and I just think that they need to give him more power. Like, he is the manager. Let him go do his thing, and don't make him a puppet anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. They obviously, like you said, trust him. I don't really see, like, we talked about this before, but there's really no other managers around that are like as good as Boone, like in terms of being able to just sign one and go. Like, but yeah, we just got to the players trust him. We all trust him, I guess. So
yep.
See how this turns out.
Definitely. And then one more question we'll do, and then we'll just go into final statements. We'll try to answer some more questions as we go. There were a decent amount of questions, but we're on a little bit of a time crunch now. What would you each give up if it meant a guaranteed Yankees World Series win?
Damn. I would probably go ahead. You can go
I'd give
first.
up my car.
Yeah, I was gonna
Would
say I
you?
want Mikey to.
I'd
You're
give
being
up my
dead
car.
ass. Are you being?
No.
I was
No.
gonna say, are you
Honestly,
being
I
dead
would. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would give up. I can't really name one right now, like per se, but I'd say if I could pay, like, say hypothetically 10 grand for a guaranteed World Series win, I'd do it. Like,
No
as a
way.
regular person, I'm paying 10
That's
grand.
funny. I'm dead. I probably pay that in tickets per year anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Nah, if I had to pick anything to give up, I would probably give up eating pizza.
Wow,
Dead ass.
that's actually.
See, I don't really like pizza, so that wouldn't be a problem for me.
I'm going crazy on this one. I'm giving up my job.
How are you gonna make money to buy tickets to games then?
I'll have to find another way to make money.
You have to sell
I mean,
your
I
ass
could,
on the street.
I could just apply somewhere else. I would just give up my current job. No offense or
Oh,
anything.
but
I know a lot of you at work are watching this. You guys are great and everything. Just, you guys know what we deal with on a daily basis.
But that
You
doesn't
both
really
know
count,
because you
though.
both worked at the same place.
But that doesn't count. Like, it really doesn't count because you can just go give up your job, then go get another job. Like, there's got to be something you got to give up completely that you cannot have until the World Series is won. From April. You want to sleep on the floor?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'll
take an air mattress, a couch. I could fall asleep anywhere. So I'll give up my bed.
I give up my,
even though my bed's really comfortable.
I give up my TV.
I dare you to find my Genesis coupe again, and I want you to fall asleep in the back seat of that. You think you could do it?
Yeah, I definitely think I could.
If you can fit, more power to you.
Yeah, that's a big if. I'm a very large individual. But yeah, that's it. We did have a couple other questions, but I think I want to leave them and we can answer them, throughout a couple weeks of a podcast. If you guys got any final statements before we close it out, this was a fun podcast. We had a fun first take where I kept fumbling the bag. I can't wait to edit that one out.
Tony Romo.
Yep. But yeah, Mike, if you got any final statements, Mike, if you got any final statements, you can go first, and then we'll go Chris, and then myself.
Oh no, absolutely. So, Chris, my guy Ian, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a blast. A lot of fumbles, but overall, it was just great discussing the Yankees, discussing sports in general, and I hope to be on another one of these in the near future.
Oh, you definitely will.
Most definitely, bro. It was great having you. Chris, anything?
Oh yeah.
I'm ready for bed.
I know
that's my final statement.
Yeah, I know you got work in the morning. I appreciate you for staying up later. For me, the only final statement I have that I meant to bring in the beginning of the podcast, and we're gonna give this guy a round of applause. He's our leader. Shout out to Aaron Judge. He got a silver slugger today. So very nice job, sir. Second one of his career. Obviously, many more to come. I'm kind of surprised that Stanton didn't get one, but that's only because Ohtani got it. So it's tough.
I just can't wait for the MVPs to come out and the Cy Youngs.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be very interesting. The 19th, November 19th.
That should be the day of the next podcast.
Maybe we could do it. We'll just have to figure out our schedules. But yeah, congratulations to Aaron Judge, our captain.
No, sorry, Mike. Not the captain.
Not official yet. We're not affiliated with the Yankees by any means. So, but yeah, this was fun, guys. This was fun. We love doing this for you guys. We love bringing guests on like Mike and like John before.
Yeah, shout out John, man.
Yeah,
shout out to McDonald's Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi was bad, but he tried his best, and I appreciate him. We've been best friends for forever. And, I've always, wanted to get him on since we started this, over a month and a half ago. And he said, yeah,
Has it
let's
really
do it.
been a month and a half?
It has been.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
It's amazing how time flies. We're already 5 episodes in, and I already got the 6th one lined up. I already got segments lined up for that one. And I can't wait to share that one with y'all, because that's going to be fun. That's not going to come for probably another 2 weeks because of Thanksgiving and the holidays. And I work in retail, so Black Friday,
buddy.
Black Friday is going to be ridiculous. But we are looking to hope to get to you guys the week after that again. The only thing that would get us back on here sooner is if a miracle happens and we get a big free agent attack. yeah, definitely. But again, always fun with you guys. Chris, always fun with you every week. Mikey, I can't wait to have you back on. And we're gonna close it out for tonight, and we will definitely see you guys soon.
100%. This is a ball, fellas.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
In the name of Judge Stanton and Carlos Correa, this is Chris. I'm out.
I like that. That's cool. That was good.
Tough. That's a great way to end it.
Yeah. End scene. I can't top that. Good night, guys.